All right, so this is all about users. So this is the username you created when you made the installation for WordPress. You will not, and it won't say Virginia Farmers, it'll say whatever you came up with, but this is admin number one. You will not be able to delete this. It's a fail-safe. It's something to protect WordPress, right? So if somebody ever got into your site, at least the admin doesn't go away. You can edit some few things, and we'll go over this in the profile. You want to see, like, the username is grayed out there. You cannot change a username, but especially in the admin, like the number one admin, you can't change anything. What I would suggest is coming down here and see where it says display name publicly as, changing this display name to something else, because in some parts of your site this is accessible, and then hackers know what your username is and they can use that to at least have half of the puzzle because they have the username and the password, right? So what I'll do in here is I'll put my name, right? And then when I come back down to public display as, I can choose Wendy Literal as my display name for the admin. And this is also where you would change your email address if you needed to, add some biographical information if you felt so inclined. And then also, if you need to generate a new password, like if you think your account's been compromised, you could do so here. And then all you do is hit Update Profile, and there you go. And then if we go back to users, you can click here or here. They go to the same place. You'll see now I've got the name there. So whenever the administrator user is displayed somewhere, it's going to say this instead of the actual username. All right, and then moving on to the next thing, if you need to create a new user, like if it's not just you, if you're going to be using other people for logging in purposes, you're going to want to go to Add New or Add New, do the same thing. All right, and then here's where you can create it. We're going to call this author. Don't ever use something that's generic. You want to put in things like, you know, numbers or symbols or anything like that, but for the purpose of this, we're just going to use author. Email address, we're going to use that. Again, you can fill out your name. A lot of times when you create the installation of WordPress, it didn't give you the option to fill in your name, but for going forward for users, you can actually enter it here. We'll put in Creation Depot. And then you're going to show password, and then you're going to copy this and put it in a safe place. I highly recommend using the generated passwords. If you absolutely must put in something a little easier to remember, it's okay to do so, but make sure that you've got numbers and symbols in it, because that's what keeps a password strong. You don't want it to be anything guessable. All right, go ahead and hide that. And then down here, send user notification. What this does is it just sends an email to this email address and then asks them or just tells them what their username is. It does not send the password. So you're going to have to remember the password and send it to them. And now, what are roles? You have 5 different roles here. Of course, you know what an administrator is. They have access to everything. A subscriber is somebody that's just subscribing to the blog. That's not what you're trying to create in most cases. Contributor, it's somebody that you want them to put their article into your blog, but you don't want them to have access to anything. Author is kind of the same thing, but has a little bit few more rights. Editor allows, it's like a low-level administrator. They can go in and actually modify the articles. With author and contributor, they can only see their stuff. They can't go into somebody else's stuff. So an editor, if you have multiple author users, you can go in and see everybody's articles and then make changes to them. We're going to make an editor and then add new user. And that's just my password utility. All right. See, they've got author, the name, and I've got, this will usually be blank for most of you. I've actually got something called Gravatar, and I've got both my email addresses registered to it, so it automatically knows that this is my profile picture. So over here we've got editor and administrator, and I don't know if it's going to let me show it. Maybe I can move it over. There we go. You can see over here we've got posts 0 and 1. The administrator account's got 1 post, and editor has none. So that's a way for you to kind of keep track of your users, how much they've contributed. And that's it for adding users to delete a user. So you can't delete the admin, right? But I can go up to author and then just hover over it. It will pop up, hit delete. It will say, are you sure you want to delete this person? Yes, I am. There we go. And that's all there is to it. Not a whole lot to users, but they are important, and knowing what the roles do is important.